Our country song and our class a part of the school chorus. We began preparing for this program a few weeks ago in our classroom by learning the words of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
Yes, we were learning the words, but it was hard. The words were difficult.
We're so gallantly singing.
I'm afraid not many understood what the words meant. We couldn't ever learn to sing our country song well if we didn't understand it, could we? So we decided to find out. It was going to take us many days, but we all thought it was worthwhile to really understand our country song. Jimmy was going to find out how our country song was written, and that meant he had to go to the library and read as much as he could to be able to tell us about it. Carol was studying the music so she could play it for our class. While others of us were working making models. And making posters. Before long, our room was filled with our work telling about our country song and why we show respect for it. We had learned a great deal. We learned that the Star-Spangled Banner is an old song, written during a battle. Of course, the Star-Spangled Banner is our flag. But in those days, the flag looked like this. It had 15 stripes and 15 stars. And in those days, there were fewer states in our country than there are now. Of course, since the very beginning, when our country had only 13 states, we have had songs. One of the earliest songs our countrymen loved and sang was, listen.
Yankee Doodle, kick it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy.
Our country had another song, too. Have you ever heard it? Listen to the melody. Do you know what it is called? Hail Columbia. The music was written for George Washington, our first president. It It was written as a march for his inauguration, and words were written for it soon after. Our early countrymen loved the song, and we still sing it today because it is associated with our first president. So even before the Star-Spangled Banner was written, our country had songs that were loved and sung. Our model of the fort helped us understand the story of how the Star-Spangled Banner was written. Let's imagine the story. It was during the War of 1812. Our country was at war with the British. Fort McHenry stood on the shore of Chesapeake Bay protecting the American city of Baltimore. In the harbor lay British warships. The British planned to attack the fort and conquer the city. The attack was to be made at night. On one of the British ships, an American was being held. As night fell, Francis Scott Key began a long and anxious wait. The battle was begun. Who would win? Would the fort fall and the city be lost? By the light of the exploding bombs and the rockets, he could just make out the stars and stripes of our flag still flying over the fort. Before morning, the fighting ended. All was quiet and dark. But who had won? What flag flew over the fort? As the dawn began to break, the words of a poem began to form in Francis Scott Key's mind. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Can you see our flag? He is asking. Is it still flying? The beauty of the flag and what it stands for were very important to him then, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Then he thought again of the night and the battle, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there, or gave light enough for us to see that our flag was still flying. And then he asked again, oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? In 1931, the Star-Spangled Banner was made our national anthem by act of Congress. And to us today, the song stands for our country, just as our flag does. When we sing it or hear it played, we stand to show our respect for our country. We know that while our flag has grown and changed, our song has come to mean our country to all of us.